Well, Irfan Ahmad Saab and everyone on the panel and friends. In life, one is at times deterred by language and at others by the tyranny of terminology. Today is one such occasion, and I am almost speechless. I was truly frightened by the suggestion that I do the ritual and say a few words about the book before us. Dr. Irfan Ahmad's persistence, however, left me with no choice. I claim no knowledge of philosophy or sociology of religions. I do know from the history of religions that they all began as critiques of the existing order, ended up as new orthodoxies, and were subjected to heresies sooner or later. The entire history of religions brings out this pattern. This book, to my understanding, is a response and refutation of the suggestion of Western scholarship that, unlike the Bible in the post-17th century Europe, Islam has not been subjected to what has been called the higher criticism of the word behind the text or the context in which a particular form of words were articulated. The Muslim answer to this is that commentaries on the Quran belie this misperception. History tells us that Muslim societies in most regions of the world had to pay the price of coming in the way of European colonialism in the 19th and 20th centuries, with all its attendant cultural and psychological consequences. This also conditioned their view of Islam. Towards the end of the 19th century, Lord Curzon, whom we know very well in this country, called it the impregnable rock wall of Islam. I am not knowledgeable enough to comment on the author's thesis. Instead, I would like to share some impressions gathered in my reading of the early period of Islamic history. 1. In Muslim belief, the Quran is revealed text. The order of revelation and of its compilation has been diligently researched. This compilation as standard text was undertaken a few years after the death of the Prophet. 2. The text and the context of each verse has been commented on down the ages. So, higher criticism is in place even if reverence for inherited tradition may have impacted its intensity. And 3, that historians like Muhammad Ahmad Shaban have researched the earliest period of Islamic history and have opined that the Arabs unintentionally acquired an empire, since changes in the direction of trade reduced the importance of the city of Mecca as a center of international trade and propelled the Arab tribes, including those who initially opposed Islam, as a new unified in faith body to explore lands beyond Arabia proper and take on the declining empires of Byzantium and Iran. The question that should be explored relates to the psychological impact of conquests on Arab minds and on the temper and tempo of early Islam affected by it in different parts of the world. This is also important in today's context when modernity, whatever its origin, does propel us to rethink it in Islamic terms, and at the same time separate religion per se from the problems and responsibilities that are, in the words of Muhammad Arkoon, in the exclusive domain of social actors, not God. In my view, therefore, religion as critique has to ensure that apart from pure critique and higher criticism, of which there is a good deal in the book, societal correctives are not hampered by tradition, and patriarchy on grounds of alleged theological constraints is not invoked. Irfan Ahmad Sahab has worked on a very complex subject, on a very obtuse subject, with great diligence, and I'm sure this book would be read by scholars, not just here but all over the world, for an approach that he has sustained throughout the book. Thank you very much.